Alright, the first thing I'm going to try to remember is to keep my bloody fingers out of the way of the lens. But anyways, yeah, and I'm also, well, obviously not using a tripod and not using I'm just using my old 640p digital camera from where I started from, but it's going to be a lot easier for me to move around. So I've got these old Europa maps I've had for quite some time now. And I used to use them for Jev and stuff like that. And then I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can do part of the Balkan campaign, for the Great War. By the way, if anybody knows what the scale is for these Europa maps, it would be great. Somebody would post that for me. I went on BGG, I could not find them, so it would be great. Anyways, when I started looking into this book here, this is by Michael Nyberg, World War I Illustrated Atlas. So I started taking a look around to see if I could actually do, like if this map would cover it. And it more than covers that this area, so I'm really darn happy. Like it goes all the way up, yeah, more than happy. But I think I've also mentioned to some people that I wanted to run the SPI's World War I 1914-1918 strategic game at Can Games for sure. So this is a map that I've done that I printed off years ago. It's just one continuous piece of paper. I'm not a big fan of the colors. This is probably a bit more true to the original colors. I'm not really sure. It's certainly a lot sharper of an image. You got to remember this is a scan taken off a BGG that's originally not a good. It's not very good resolution, and it is certainly a bitmapped image. So it's, there's a ton of limitations. Anyways, behind it you can see was my altered colors, and printed off a different printer. This printer certainly had its colors calibrated. However, it doesn't mean that these are the official colors. It just means the printer was printing true. And I was telling it to use the proper paper and so on and so forth. This one over here, I did not tell it, I did not calibrate the paper. I just altered it in iFrame View, the colors and the contrast and whatnot, because I wanted to get it away from some of the magenta that was in it. But its line thickness is nowhere near as good as this one. I'm having a hard time reading some of the text. However, like I said before, I wanted to try and do this with Can Games. As you can see, I went and made some new counters, so that way at least now we've got the strength and defense bits on it and so on and so forth. I was also playing with different scales. And yet again, so for example, this is telling the printer, but not calibrated, but telling the printer that's the right color. I mean the right paper. In other words, this is cardstock, not just regular everyday paper, and you can see the color difference, like from here to here. Same printer, the middle one, but on the right hand side it was so on and so forth. It's just amazing. And here's another one. Yet again, I used that panel. This is 16 panels instead of 9. It becomes huge. I can make some amazing counters. Mind you, the map would be monstrously, like way too big. Anyways, and then we got into starting to think about the Soldiers variant game that I was been doing off the 8.5 by 11 thing, which I'm calling between first and second. And I went, wait a minute, that's got 13 hexes by 14 hexes. Could I possibly just do the Balkan area here? And what would that come out to? Could I just make it out? And if you look, actually, I can make it out here. Like Salonika's way the heck over there. I'm all the way over to Constantinople. Anyways, so 13 by 14 are the yellows if I wanted to do just this area. It's not too bad. And then I was looking over here and I was like, oh, what could I do if I could get the Italian front and whatnot? And they're the blues. So I'm going to see if there's some way I can wiggle 13 by 14 in some weird orientation, not too much, and see if I can maybe somehow squeeze in the Italian front and the Balkan front into like this is just the Balkan one, but you can see here it's the same thing but on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I can use a half decent size counters here. I haven't printed them off yet, but you'll see what I mean. These are the counters I'm using for my soldiers between first and second. And that's not too bad. but I still have to see if I can get some font whatnots and so on and so forth. But I'm pretty darn excited. I really would like to see if I can focus on doing some 8.5 by 11 mapped games and go from there. I don't know if there's some way of using the SPI's rules in some way to just focus on the Balkan front, but I think there's a good possibility, and even if it doesn't happen, it's still helping me out, tickling my brain, and food for thought for later kind of stuff. But oh yeah, I wanted to show you the offs, the ones I'm doing. So yeah, I did change the Belgian counter a little bit to the orange, and well, there's the BEF. I decided to give it a special little background, whatever, and the same as for the French tank unit and the German Strasstruppen or something. I'll have to go and take a look how you pronounce it properly. That was a weird though. It's the only side one I do find a bit odd about this game is that the French get the tanks. It's like, wait a minute, it was the Brits that brought the tanks into play, but that's fine. This is like I said, well, it's such a good game. I want other people to play it at Can Games for sure. I hope to goodness someone does besides me. All right, see you later. And I'm going to hit the stop button. There we go.